Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. Continuing on with my worst to best series, where I take the Predator Racing Group and try and win the highest series in the game. And right now we're in the preseason, developing the car, so we're just going to progress at this moment, as there's not a whole lot else to do. I'm also working on building a couple headquarter buildings. Okay, so we have some things going on here. First, let's go through some of this. We could hire. We have some scouting reports going on. We could also hire a new driver. Williams' contract's going to run out. I don't really plan to replace him. I could hire a driver that has better feedback, which would help us overall, but I'm honestly thinking about just letting Evans go and keeping the two drivers we have, which we have for another season. We don't have anything in the staff to recruit, as far as I understand, because this is going to be done in a year, and this is going to be done in a year. I'll probably be dropping Oscar, maybe keeping Tom Woodridge. And the designer, I may drop, I may not. Depends on how much of this we go through, but I have a feeling we may be upgrading our designer as well. But for now, I don't really see reason to spend any more money on some of these things. And if you don't hire a reserve driver, or if you're missing a driver, they always assign you like kind of a randomly generated, really crappy driver that isn't going to cost you a lot of money. At least I don't think so. So we'll see. But Evans is not really happy here, so he's probably not going to re-sign with me anyway. All right, so as far as scouting goes, let's just check to see how much we have here. We've got a decent queue. I'm kind of curious, though, if we have anyone that is unscouted. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any additional people to scout. So I think for the meantime, we're just going to sit tight. And we do have to do this dilemma, though. All right, so interested in getting a look inside your headquarters. Okay. So if we do this, we gain some marketability, but we lose some morale in Santana. I'm more than willing to do that. We could use the team marketability, and Santana, it's not going to make her too unhappy, so we'll go ahead and do that. As you can see, her morale is probably all the way full for the most part, so that was only like a slight hit, and we'll be okay. But marketability-wise, I don't think we do have sponsors to pick up, so that may actually help us, as our team marketability is now up to 42%. So we go up to 22.3 overall. Getting a driver that had better marketability might help us, but we're still on 1-star sponsor appeal, so not necessarily great. But hey, we improved it a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so we had a pause here. So people are hiring people, and then William Evans' contract has expired. I don't care. He wasn't happy with us anyway. So we get this random person here that's only going to cost us $1,000 per race, as opposed to $46,000 or whatever that guy was making. And at this point, I don't really feel like we need to hire a driver. Until our cars are better, we'll just stick with these crappy drivers. And right now, we're in 10th place as far as the cars go. Santana, we might stick or keep around. Dior really is at a point where he cannot, he has no really further potential. So once his contract expires, I might get rid of him. I might keep him on as a reserve driver, because his feedback's not too bad. At 11's actually better than Santa Ana's 9. But he does have... Okay, that's permanent, so that will always help his feedback. So he's not bad from a feed point standpoint. So we could keep a hold of him as a reserve driver. But that's probably going to be the upgrade, is getting rid of Dior. And we'll move Santa Ana probably over to a secondary role if we get a decent driver. But that's at least the game plan. All right, let's go ahead. And we do have a sponsor offer. I'm not going to take it yet. Let's just continue here until we get more offers. All right, we're going to pause at the first of the month. We do have more sponsor offers, but they're kind of divided amongst the two. We really don't need them until the season is about to start anyway. All right, so let's just go through here. Scouting report. Need lead designers. Scouting report. Drivers and staff, various staff members joining teams. Again. Okay, so he's the motorbike champion. So that actually is now a permanent stat bonus for him. So that happens every so often. If you have a temporary stat bonus, it can turn permanent, which is exactly what just happened. Okay, so that's pretty much that for the meantime. And we're almost done with the chassis, so we'll have a halt when that happens. We also have a period where we... okay, brake supplier breakthrough. So we can spend a little bit of extra cash to get some improvement. I'm not going to do that. First off, we don't have the cash. Secondly, that's just something I'm not going to do at this juncture. Maybe next season, if we develop our cars enough, I'll push for that. But for now, we're just going to sit tight. Sponsors, we still don't have any more, so we'll just continue here. We have another pause, which is going to be this. And... we just go through our mailbox, so scouting reports, people getting hired, and then now we have to edit our cars. Okay, I may keep the same design, but change my colors around. So I'm going to go to a mostly black car for this season. Oops. There we go. I guess you... there we go. I must not have hit apply. So we're going to go with a mostly black car this season, but I'm going to keep the overall design otherwise, and we'll go with secondary colors being red. And that's what we're going to go with. So we're going to have a mostly black car. And all right, let's continue. Yes, we finished that. Okay, sponsors still remain at 3. Scouting, we still probably have a decent pool here. Yep. Okay. And let's continue. Okay, first of the month, still only 3 sponsor offers. I guess that's kind of the downside. Santana has a new haircut, and it actually shows on her. That's funny. All right, so she's got a little bit of markability for... how many weeks? 7 weeks. That's hysterical, though. It actually shows on a character. All right. What does it say? I've always expressed myself through my hair, and I just feel like I needed a change. All right, that's funny. All right. New dude does nothing for her cheekbones, whatever that means. Okay. We're going to have our preseason testing coming up. And still only 3 sponsors, although Santana has a little bit more marketability now. I don't know if that's going to really affect much of anything. All right, let's go ahead and continue on to that. And here we go with the preseason testing. So we'll see how good our cars will be. And we only got that one opportunity to upgrade our cars. So I think usually speaking, when you spend a lot of money on the cars, you get a lot less opportunity to dump money into them to improve them even further. We only really got one. Whereas in the past, I think when we didn't do much, we got like a lot of opportunities. So I think that's kind of, they correspond with each other. Okay, so scouting report finished. People signing. Let's see preseason testing. All right, let's start our test. Hopefully we don't have any problems. I really don't know what it means when you have issues. So far, we're doing okay. No issues. Although our 2 drivers are kind of separated. We do have an oil leak here. And then we have gearbox issues here. I have a feeling it's a morale other than more than anything else. Okay, so... looks like, for the most part, we did okay, although Santana finished all the way down at the bottom. Dior's car did really well, which is surprising, I guess. Hopefully that's a sign of good things to come. And the preseason is more or less over, because we have 11 days until our next race. And let's take a look at our mailbox here. So, preseason testing report. Testing went brilliantly this weekend. I'm happy to report that we're in strong position for the rest of the season. All right, so 20th and 7th, our designers and mechanics are now ready to get cracking, improving reliability, and building new parts. All right, targets for the season. I'm just going to stick with the 10th for now. We don't get as much money, obviously, but I don't know if we're going to do any better this year than we did last. We're going to have to see through the improving parts and designing new parts what we can do. So the gearbox is now a spec part. So we really only have to compete in 3 areas. And right now we are 10th, 9th, not in 10th. That's interesting. And 10th. So overall, we're still in 10th place, but hopefully we can improve, especially top speed. I think I might give a little bit of emphasis on that. Now, as far as headquarters buildings, I'm not actually sure if I remember what buildings we have. Now, in 2 weeks, we'll have the design center done, and in 4 weeks, we'll have the forecasting center. So just taking a look at our buildings, we have a telemetry, and that is it. So unfortunately, the only thing that we really got an upgrade on is got converted to a spec part. I do want to see what the votes are going to be this year. So addition of Phoenix, I may vote for that, I may not. Unlimited pit stop cruise. Cost of traveling to race weekend is increased. Also, pit stop events can happen simultaneously, leading to faster pit stops. Okay, I'm not sure if I really know what that means, but okay, so longer races on average than last season. Points for top 8. I'm going to vote for that, vote against that for sure. All right, so that's it. No real effect on our parts as far as I can tell. Most of those I'm not sure if I really like. All right, well, let's go on to the improvement of the car. So first things first, let's take a look at our parts. So brakes. So we are actually having some things, get close to that 100 mark. I think we need to have at least 300, though, if we want to stand a chance against the rest of the competition. So I'm probably going to upgrade brakes first. Just because, first off, it's the cheaper thing to do, but secondly, it's something that doesn't take a lot of time to do, so we can get it done quick. So for the first upgrade, we're just going to go with plus 25 to max, and we'll go with that. It's going to cost us 550, but we will have some reduction because of my financial background, so we do have some cash in the bank. Now we're going to improve our parts. So that will get done in 6 days. So we'll have 5 days left to improve its reliability. So I'm just going to go through, as far as performance goes, we're going to be getting new brakes. So I don't feel like we necessarily want to improve here. I think engine might be one of the things that we do last. So I'm going to improve that. And then I guess we can improve this and this. Because the next part I'm probably going to build is a suspension part, and once we have that, we won't have any need to upgrade performance there. We are going to go full reliability here, though, and I'm going to start. Well, we'll start with things that don't have a lot of reliability. So we'll do that. We'll do the engine and the brakes. As a matter of fact, the next race we have, top speed and acceleration are going to be crucial. So we're going to expect a hammering on our engine and gearbox. But gearbox is spec, so that means it's going to be more reliable. So I guess we'll just work on the reliability of our other engine as well. And we'll go full on reliability here because we're going to need that. All right. Let's go ahead and progress here. And we'll have the brake design finished at that point. It should pause there. There we go. Still no sponsors. I am going to wait until pretty much the last second. All right, so let's go to our improvement screen. And that new brake we could use for this upcoming race. So what I'm going to do is switch off. Matter of fact, we'll switch off almost all of these things. And switch over to this. And then we only have 5 days to improve it, but that still might be good enough. And then what else we got? So engines are good. Gearbox is good. So I guess we could go try and get everything above. But we're not going to need to get this above 50% because we already have the other brake. So this actually makes things so much easier when you have fewer parts to work with. So as much as I didn't really want this to happen, it's not too bad. I guess I'll work on both engines because we know those are going to be run a little raw. And we'll go from there. Very close to getting our new design center. But I am going to go and design a new part here. So I talked about getting suspension. I think we're going to go with that. And I might do the plus 25 to max. Alternatively, I could just do this for stats now, but I think that's the best call, is the max, because we want to get these parts up as high performing as we can. So we'll go with that, build part. It will be done 5 days after the race, but then we'll have plenty of time to improve its reliability and get it ready to go. We'll build that part. Again, we save a little bit of cash. We'll go in the red, but that's not too big of a deal. We want to get out as many parts as we can before the race starts. Okay, we're going to be traveling to the Black Sea here. Okay. Let's go to our car. Go to the improvement of the parts. We got up to 46%. More than likely what I'll do is I'll stick that on Santa Ana because her mechanic has that nurse ability, which actually is really useful early in the season. I am going to back off on the engines here, I think, and the suspension. We'll start working on our other bit of suspension and our other bit of brakes maybe, and then we'll do, I guess, the matter of fact, I stop improving that because we're going to have new suspension there. I guess we'll just keep with the engines for now. Yeah, all right, that's what I'm going to do. And again, it makes it so much simpler when you have fewer things to pay attention to. Okay. Well, now it's more or less the race day. We have to take sponsors here. I think sitting on these sponsors is not a good idea. So we've got upfront cash, and then we've got $350,000 per race. That's actually really good, so I'm going to accept that. And then over here, we get upfront, and then we get $200,000 per race. That's actually also not bad. So we'll take that. And we're still in the red, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and go on to the race. We are going to have to fit parts, which I haven't done. We still have 16th or above as our thing that we're going to pick because we don't know how well our car is going to do. Let's fit our parts, and we're going to try and give Santa Ana all the best parts. So let's start things off. We'll give that part there, and give her the best engine as well. And, oh, actually, no, we did that backwards. There we go. And then suspension. So Dior's unhappy with his overall performance, but you know what? Screw him. He's a number 2 driver. He's supposed to be the number 2 driver. I don't know why he's getting so hung up on things. We're going to give Santa Ana the best parts to give her the best chance. I'm curious, though, at this point, where we stand as far as our overall performance. Still 10th. Okay, so even though we built new brakes, that actually didn't improve our stats here at all. That's surprising to an extent. All right, well, let's just continue. And we have everything set up. I don't know if Dior will lose morale because he's not happy with his parts, but he's just going to have to live with it for now. Most of it wasn't the comparison between the two cars. It was just he didn't feel like his car was performing well compared to the rest of the field. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I didn't pay attention to the weather, I must admit. But we have sunny weather here. We're going to be using both of our drivers here as we do not have any upgrade with this driver. And they have no potential, so there's not going to be any really improvement there. All right, so we're going to be running... We have a choice between softs and super softs. I'm going to run a little bit of both. I'm going to run softs in Dior's car. Let's do his setup. So we need lower downforce. And suspension needs to be softer. Something like that. And then we need to go more towards acceleration on this track. All right, well, that's going to be our initial setup. Gives me some room for improvement, and confirm. And then over here, we need higher downforce, so kind of the opposite there. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. As a matter of fact, we balance these out a little bit better. And handling, we need to go stiffer. Again, kind of the opposite. And then we need to go more top speed oriented as well. So actually exactly the opposite. We'll go with super softs. I just want to see how they do temperature-wise. I'm going to take practice. I don't know at this point in the year how well we're going to do, and I'd like to see that. Okay, and out you go. Now you can really make out that red color a little bit more now that the white's gone. At least I feel like I can. Definitely a different look this year. So Santana should be passing here. And we see... All right, hitting the limiter there. Less downforce, all right? So, more towards top speed, less downforce is what we're looking for both of our drivers. We're not doing too bad in the practice so far, but I expect that to start dropping. Okay, he just says wrong arrow setup. He doesn't tell me which way to take it, unfortunately. So it's not really all that helpful. Handling is spot on. Well, that's good. Alright, so tire temperatures are running warm with the super softs. Slightly warm with the softs. And it looks like these tires are being shredded a little bit here. Alright. Again, he tells me another negative thing, but he doesn't tell me which way to take it. Gear ratios are just right. All right. So we've got two positives and a negative with Santana. So less downforce. And then he needed more top speed. That was the only thing that I really got out of that. So we're going to be sending you out. As a matter of fact, her car is almost bang on. So the improvements we are going to have are going to be minimal. So less downforce, but I don't need to go too crazy with it. Something like that. And then we'll see if we can balance it. Probably as good as it's going to get. Yeah, it's going to be as good as it gets. So let's see if we can get it better than 82%. 52%. I mean, 15 seconds. Tires are, you know, running a little low, but she should make it for the next 4 or so minutes. Of the practice, so we'll just keep her on the same tires. And here comes Dior. We hear about him. So poor, very poor. So he didn't give me any indicator which way to take the suspension, so hopefully we'll figure that out just through this. We do need a longer gear ratio. He did tell me that much. He also didn't tell me which way to take the downforce either, so I don't know with that. So I'm going to go a little bit longer on the gear ratios, and I'm just going to make an assumption of taking it this way. With the handling, we'll find out if that's the right move. And then downforce, I'm going to also make the assumption for higher. But I'm not going to take it too far. So there's going to be a lot to remember with Dior's car and trying to get it on track. But let's send him out. And... the good thing is we have Santa Ana's car set up well, and that's the car we want to perform well, so pretty pleased with that. I don't expect to actually do all that well necessarily this race because I don't feel like we've improved the cars enough yet, but we'll see. Now, we are dead last as far as the practice goes, which I'm not too surprised with. And I kind of expect that to be the way we end, honestly. Handling feels much better. Feels like we've got the right aero setup. Nice one, guys. All right, so we did take his suspension the right way, which is mostly an assumption on my part. This is just through experience playing the game. I kind of figured out which ways to take things. And I've also, at first, I thought that the drivers were telling me things that were not helpful because the bars would go in opposite directions sometimes. But actually, what they have to say is more important than what the bar is showing you a lot of times. Okay, so he's still saying make the gear ratios longer. Practice is over. So, Supersoft seemed to get shredded rather quick on this track, from what I could see. Happy with the gear ratios, okay. Alright, so we'll see how much we've improved the cars here. So, continue. And we're now on to the race. So, first thing first, I want to take a look at the weather. So, it's projected to be sunny so far. Let's go ahead and take our bonuses. So, we've got race trim. We got that up to level 2. And I'm definitely going to take the nurse ability, which is going to help us quite a bit for this race, especially as she has the better brakes, which a little bit low there. We're going to take the race trim, and then we're going to take risk taker just so we've got a little bit quicker pits. But we'll confirm that. And then car setup. Let's see what we've got. So we're good here. So mostly we just need to set up our tires. Now where we start in this particular race is going to be random because we do not have driver standings yet. I think we put her on super softs. I think that's the right move. Let's go ahead and fuel her up though. And then over here, I think we go with softs so that they're on a different pitch strategy. And we might keep him on softs. I'm not sure. I kind of like softs for this track. I might switch to those with Santana, fuel him up. But the one thing I want to take a look at is the car setup. So I have no idea if that downforce change helped us or not, because as far as I know, he didn't give me an indicator with that. So as a result, I'm not confident to change that. Now, the speed balance, he let me know. I need longer gear ratios. And we'll go ahead and do that. And then might even go a little bit further with that. And we also know we need to harden the suspension because that was also the right direction. So we'll do something like this. Again, downforce, I don't know if that was the right direction or not. It may have been. If he said so, I missed it or I don't remember it. And we're going to go with that. Tire choice we've already done. Fuel we've already done. So hopefully this improves his car. I expect him to not do particularly well in this race. So I'm going to keep things at neutral because of the tendency for the tires to warm up. We will start cool, but we will eventually warm up. All right, so I think we're pretty much good to go, and I think this is a good point to go ahead and put a cut in the video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.